Well, we're back after a few months of break. We won't go into details, but the world's fucked. That's putting it lightly. Today,
Hi,
I
everyone.
today I'm joined by Achilles and Crow.
Hello.
Heyo.
Like Achilles said, happy 2020, everybody. It's the best year of all, isn't it, guys?
Enjoy your wonderful 2020 vision, guys. This is the only time you actually get to say this pun. It will count.
Really? Really?
I had to.
Yeah. You kind of did. You think when we first started this show, we wouldn't be in this situation? We started the show in February.
Yeah, but you know what situation I would be? I would be about to speak about the fate verse, and then Discord would deny my fate. Make me get kicked out. Oh my god. I was so excited.
We honestly thought we deleted this out after we finished talking about fate. We thought you had you just passed out because you mentioned to us the night before you pulled an all-nighter.
Oh god. Yeah.
So we assumed you crashed. You just
It would be like that. Oh my god. Yeah. No, I'm not really typically like I don't crash during calls, but like legit that time I was so heated because I was just about to get right into it, and the Discord just absolutely just zero resets me, and I'm goddamn. But anyways, we're back here. We're alive. We somehow we're not dead due to COVID. Let us
Nope.
be grateful.
YouTube, don't demonetize us when we get monetized, please.
It's yo bleep this out.
When we get the cough. The cough.
Yes.
We will call it the cough.
The cough.
Oh no, I coughed. Okay. So in today's this is gonna be a different kind of video. We're not gonna do a random topic. We're gonna do a topic that centers around Team Shadow. And that's all the main voices we have
Yes.
in Team Shadow. So we'll see how far we get with this. So once Crow meets himself, he can begin.
Yeah. To be honest, I kind of wish we had experts from like each of the verses. Like if Gio was here, that would be great for JoJo.
Yeah. But
We'll do our best. We'll do our best.
It's more fun for them to whip on us in the comment section.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
All right.
Though to be fair, we're all fairly knowledgeable about these verses.
Yeah. True.
Well,
But
with
this
Fate
isn't
and
about.
Echo, not
Hold
so
on,
much.
Neil. But this isn't exactly about the verses. This is more about the admin. So we don't necessarily need people from their particular verses, because we already got VOD to tell us how good these admins are.
Yeah, Achilles knows. Achilles knows. If Achilles says something, he knows what he's talking about in terms of TS.
I'm just here with like my list of admin style rating is like yes, I've been born for this.
we're not. Tom is here with his own free will to do this. Isn't that right, buddy?
I guess not.
You totally weren't bribed or anything to be here today.
No, yeah, I wasn't bribed with the P. No, not at all.
We told you not to say the P word.
Alright, now to actually start all this off.
Yeah.
We have 6 verses to cover today, ranging from JoJo all the way to Umineko.
Yay!
Woo.
So let's get started at the top of the list with potential to be the most dominant verse based on quality of admin, starting with the JoJo verse.
Okay. So you already know about Jotaro. He's probably the leading figure for JoJo within TS. He's already basically a 5-star because
He's the captain of the PSs, anyways. The button swaps.
yeah, I mean captaincy alone doesn't necessarily make you 5-star, unless of course you clearly got that through, winning in the KG Cup, because
Which didn't he do that though? Was it the KG Cup?
yeah, he pretty much did. I mean, he even like got past Lord Shiva, and we know he's a 5-star. So and then he lost to Enkidu, but Enkidu still did kind of give him an official win. So I guess you could say, well, she didn't really give him a win, but she did give him a team. And I do believe like Jotaro has got the potential to be a 5-star. So he's really a powerhouse, and the amount of hacks that he's got just with like the Holy Corpse, which was added into his profile, makes him like
even back
a
when we
warhead for
fought,
JoJoverse. Yeah.
even back when we fought before I retired, he was I think he was my second last official match before I retired.
Oof.
And I remember I used my OC Akira, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'll be nice. As Akira would, he let his opponent go first if it's a sparring match.
Yeah.
And my regeneration was stopped, and he killed me in one move.
Oh my God. I remember this was like after like once Mewtwo had introduced the concept of OHKOs, which is one hit knockout, by the way, for those who don't know. Basically everybody started following that trend initially, where it was just like it was super badass if you could just absolutely knock someone out in the first move. But then now TS kind of frowns upon that, because it's like
it's too easy.
It's too easy, and plus you wanna build up a narrative through your fight. It's like if your character isn't the type to really go all out, even though they can do, then typically you shouldn't do that. And we should also take into account this was like pre-SBA, which is Standard Battle Assumptions from the Versus Wiki, where you weren't bloodlusted or forced to kill someone. Stay in character. Whereas now with SBA, it's kind of like you literally get sent in as your strongest version, and you're not bloodlusted, but at the same time, you are not going to be hesitant to kill. And we all know JoJo is a verse where death isn't really
a thing.
No, it is a thing. It's like JoJo's kind of like, if you're a JoJo character, you're pretty much going to die a horrific death. That's basically how the fandom goes. But basically,
spoiler alert, JoJo spoilers alert.
Nobody dies in JoJo, I promise.
Everything's sunshine and lollipops.
Yes. But yeah. Okay, so there's JoJo, then coming back to there's also Kaz, novel Kaz. We all know he was the former, well, I guess we don't all know, but he was the former vice captain for PS, and it was basically rumored that he did teach Jotaro quite a bit.
Has become the master in a way.
Yeah, he did teach Jotaro some stuff about JoJo, like getting the basic grips with Star Platinum, for JoJo to then actually just come into the KG Cup as literally a dark horse. Dark horse being someone like who's really the underdog. And then just out of nowhere, Jotaro just ends up going all the way to the finals with Enkidu. And that's just like with his initial profile, where it was just Star Platinum over Heaven. And yeah, stands are broken, man. Jotaro is living proof of that. So yeah. JoJo's got a lot of potential, but I feel like it's not really a verse where every character is like
strong.
Yeah, because I know like there are some JoJo characters who are just extremely weak. Like for example,
like the first two part.
The first two JoJos only basically using like Hamon, for example, and have stands. So with JoJo, it's a great verse, but like if a really potent character has already been claimed, there's kind of limited room for you to work with. Though JoJo, like the craziest thing about JoJo is that because he can reality overwrite anything, he can even reality override the fact that he only has one stand. So he literally could just have all the stands in the JoJoverse at the same time.
So
That is scary to think about.
So what you're saying is he could have the world go.
Yeah, he can have the world. He can have Golden Experience Requiem. He can basically like just one reality override, and he can have as many stands as he wants. That's kind of like basically in Fate terms. That's just like one god using an authority to give themselves more authorities and just become more hacks that way. And yeah, it's like you can't sleep on the JoJoverse. It's
insanely
definitely
broken.
Yeah, it is extremely broken.
But I think like in the terms of the show though, it's also balanced out by being a little bit goofy at times.
Yeah,
I think like that does.
I think the
out.
best part I like about JoJo is like that all their fights are really tactical based. Yeah, some bits are just like for example, if you ask someone what is King Crimson's ability and ask them to explain that, there's a meme saying it's so difficult to understand that the best way to do it is King Crimson's ability is, and that's what the ability is. Time skip. But yeah. I mean, in terms of admins in TS though, we've only got, I think, Novel Cars and JoJo pulling.
Yeah, I
the
think Geo has retired from fighting, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's only those two within the JoJoverse representation for TS.
So I mean,
so now moving over to Novel Cars.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think he can represent in helping get the verse to dominate?
I think he's got a lot of potential. I mean, to be honest, I would still some areas where even Jotaro goes to Novel Cars to like reaffirm some stuff he has about Jotaro. I think Novel Cars is like the most knowledgeable when it comes to the JoJoverse, and it also reflects to his fighting to an extent. Whereas Jotaro is like just really naturally talented at roleplay, but by combining the shared knowledge from Novel Cars, he just becomes that much more potent. That's why I'd still rank Jotaro like at number one. I wouldn't sleep on Novel Cars either, because seriously, when it's all about with him, I feel like he's similar to me in the sense that he doesn't really prefer like fighting as much, but when he's in the mood, he can be super deadly. Like I recall the fact he literally had Ben on the ropes during the Mariko Cup, but the only issue was I think he just summoned Gilgamesh and had no way to really control him. I think he tried doing that with Bohemian Rhapsody as a stand, but yeah, that was the sole reason. It's just because Gilgamesh isn't going to ally with you just because you summoned him. That I think Shadow ended up giving him the judge's call, which wasn't in his. But yeah, aside from that, Noel Kaz is really, really the best support JoJo could possibly want for his verse. Though I really wish there were more characters in TS, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. So moving on, the next verse up from this is Pokemon. So I think this is one of our next most represented.
We have Mewtwo, Arceus,
Cyrus, and then
Mewtwo.
Mewtwo.
Yeah. We also used to have Cynthia, but now she's kind of beat in the Umaneko verse. So I guess we won't count her.
No, we don't.
No, we won't.
Yeah. So we've got. Okay, look. I mean, there's no doubt about how potent Cyrus is. Just the fact that he can also summon Mewtwo well with enough setups makes him something you can't take lightly. Whereas Mewtwo pretty much has access to all the Pokemon in the planet and can just activate their minds all at once if you really wanted to. So for him to control, say, even Cyrus and then just bring Cyrus along wouldn't be a surprise. Plus, I think Mewtwo has been focusing on Dynamax as well. He's been like training with that with Enkidu.
That's gonna be broken if that comes into play
Yeah,
with TS.
that is really, really broken. And the thing is, yeah, sure, Mewtwo might need like a stadium, or Dynamax energy in order to access that. But like, he's got enough abilities to watch that sort of thing out within a move in like a split second.
Because
So
he still has Mega Evolution as well.
yeah, he's got Mega Evolution. Obviously, he can't. I don't think he should be like. It's not even if he reality warps, it just wouldn't make sense to Mega Evolve and Dynamax. But technically speaking, that is a scary goal. Just imagine this: Mewtwo, Shadow Mega Mewtwo X, Dynamax is in his realm. Oh my god!
I see no god up here other than me.
Yes, that's basically him. Oh my god. Yeah, it's just scary. The thing about Pokemon Verse is like it's not super up there in tiring, however you want to call that. But it's got hexes. It's got plenty of hexes that's like tortured 1As so bad. I remember during a fight where it was Mewtwo against Phil, who was being, I think, Death from DC, not Marvel. No, was it Marvel? I think it was Marvel. I'm not even sure. It was Death.
You mean Death of the Endless?
Yeah, Death of the Endless.
That's DC.
Is that DC? Okay, so I was right the first time. Yeah, so DC and Mewtwo literally just went uses Mewtwo. Everybody thought, what? For another one shot move, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm just kidding. Just go ahead with your move." And then the fight, Mewtwo won that anyways. But like, it's like, bro, how do you beat something that negates immunities to like freaking mind control? It's just like I feel like that's always been Mewtwo's kind of own animal-ish, and he just holds back on that. It's like it's the same with KG. It's like he will not pull out ear unless someone really forces him to. Same with Mewtwo. He will use the secondary effect of Miracle Eye, which is where like he puts a causality loop on himself so that whatever move he has used can just reset. So like, things like Taunt, where he forces you to only attack, therefore preventing you from doing any other set besides literally attacking moves. Combine that with his Miracle Eye, which just resets that, means Taunt won't just last for 5 turns. It will last for the entire battle until Mewtwo decides he wants Taunt off. So, like, that amount of crazy he's just got at his potential just really irritates the living nightmare. And I think Mewtwo alone has been the leading figure for Pokemon, but add Cyrus and even Arceus, who I know is really gung-ho towards proving himself in TS as well. Because the amount of times bro tries to do so and his matches just get skipped, irritates.
Oh yeah, that does happen a lot though.
Like he used to be Hades from D&D verse. But then he didn't even get to try out that character because every time the Silver Winds lost to the PSs, Jojo would just come in and be like, "Yeah, we're just gonna match claim this squad." And then Arceus would just be like, "Bruh." And
all around me are familiar faces.
Yep, basically that.
Sad Arceus noises.
Yeah, so he's gonna come back with a vengeance. I feel Pokemon is still gonna be one of like the dominant verses
Since Pokemon
for a long time to come.
Pokemon's been one of the early bosses, really, like kind of like.
Yeah. Pokemon has been around since.
I remember Mewtwo being here since near the beginning of the TS fights, anyways.
Yeah. He wasn't there during the initial KG Cup because like if he was, I'm not even gonna lie, like KG might not have had such a smooth
victory.
Yes, victory because KG just came in, cruised through the entire KG Cup like it was nothing, and that's him with only one paragraph moves. So you can.
Yeah, that was back when we wanted.
I mean, assuming KG was holding back severely, okay, that just goes to show how far behind TS was compared to him because
yeah,
let's not forget KG was from another community. Like I don't know if it was Doctor Doom's community or like other communities he'd participated in, but he was already like rank 1 in many different communities, which
I'm
I
still
still have no idea
surprised.
about. And then
I'm
he
still
just comes in with one paragraph moves, annihilates basically all of us.
Yeah, I am
I
still
yeah,
shocked.
go ahead.
I'm still
No, go
shocked that
ahead.
I was able to hold my own against him back when we initiated it, because he was my
Yeah.
he was my first opponent, and I don't I don't want to put myself down, but I wasn't the best at OP fighting.
No, I think it's just because I think with KG he's always like, okay, I'm always just gonna play at your level, but just slightly higher than your level, so I can get the win at the end.
Yeah, no, but I'm still surprised I was able to hold my own against him regardless.
Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah,
still shocked. I'm still shocked about that.
that was good on your part, and I think with him he was just like, okay, so he's senior level, he's just gonna be like, okay, he's just gonna give a counter that's
The thing that was 2 years ago
no?
now.
Yeah.
And
So
like,
I mean, KG went from a 1 paragraph move to like an 8 out of 8 just because Arceus sent a 7 out of 7. And because sticking to topic here, like Arceus is 7 out of 7 with the amount of embodiments he has. Those were also a really good sign for the Pokemon verse because I really thought, damn, one of the strongest characters in the Pokemon verse, Arceus is being portrayed really well with good knowledge of embodiments. I think that's also kind of when TS started really taking embodiments seriously.
yeah,
So, but then KG just comes up and just throws in an 8 out just to silence Arceus. And to be honest, what KG pulled wasn't even like an OHKO. It's just that Arceus saw that and he's just like, whatever I'm gonna do, he's just gonna one up me, isn't he? I'm gonna just sit down now. But yeah, no, Arceus has been training and
Arceus has great potential.
he's gonna come back with a vengeance, and Pokemon, I feel like as a verse in TS
Yeah,
is here to stay for a while.
they're already very strong is right now, but
Yeah,
I can see them getting a
it's
lot
funny though. It's
stronger.
funny though because in almost every other community outside of TS, Pokemon isn't like much, and it's because I think outside of TS there hardly exists any admins that can take the verse to the that are community.
Seriously,
So that's why people are outside every verse I go, especially in like communities like JF, for example. They're like, oh, Digimon verse can easily solo the boat. And they're only looking at the versus wiki profiles and just seeing it as being more hacks, therefore giving Digimon verse the win. But I'm like, no, to be honest, the admins in TS themselves are hacks. Because legit, the amount of fights that should be won by one character but aren't simply because of the admins we have.
but like it's also easy to say that on the Voices wiki this character A is stronger than character B, but character B might have a better admin than character A, so that decides to win.
Yeah, true.
It's easy to say, but Agumon is stronger on the Voices wiki than Raichu. But if Agumon has a crap admin, Raichu's going to take the win.
Exactly. I mean, see, the thing with this is I don't like scaling to be used in arguments. For example, this character beat this character, and this character beat this character. Therefore, this character can beat this character. I'm like, no, you should just compare on a one versus one basis and just do it. Like, it's okay for feats and to describe how potent someone is, but it shouldn't be the be and end all to decide whether they win the fight over.
Oh yeah, because you could say, oh, in their universe, they beat blank and blank became a god.
Yeah.
But like that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, in that verse, they are strong. Like you could say All Might's strong in his voice in My Hero Academia, but anyone from Marvel Comics would annihilate All Might in his prime in no time.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's why even if a character claims to be omnipotent, like literally in canon dialogue, they literally, I am omnipotent, no one can stop me. Sure, probably in your verse, but that does not mean you are omnipotent every single verse. Like even with Gil, okay, yeah, sure, he's okay, he's not. Let's get that out of the way. But he can be seen as one of the strongest characters out there. But that still doesn't make him one of the strongest characters, period, in fiction, because he can still lose, and he has been showcased to lose. That's why he's even allowed in TS and not like some sort of omnipotent being that's banned.
Yeah, I was speaking of ban. I was even saying the quote. Do we actually have a ban list?
To be
That's
honest,
how does that not
I'm gonna use the same meme again. It's the yes but actually no meme. It's like we have a list, but we don't have it literally written out in a document or something like that. Just because there's so many abilities out there that I encourage people in TS to just kind of use their common sense. For example, if an ability is so hacked that only raw omnipotence can be used to overcome it, or if an ability is seriously associated with omnipotence and hardly has any limitations or counters for it, then that's something I would class as being way too overpowered, because it's no longer your skill as an admin that's carrying your character, it's just the ability. And I don't want fights in TS to be won through just abilities alone. There's got to be explanations. Otherwise, we might as well just have theoretical battles where we don't really get anybody to RP fight. We just literally, it's a discussion, like a versus wiki thread. Will this character beat this? Yes, because blah blah blah, and these abilities. And I'm like, okay,
yes, that's not fun to watch.
The whole point of an RP fight is to bring the admins in and see how well they can logically formulate moves to win.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's not even about winning. It's just how well you convince your opponent to make them believe that yes, they are in a losing position.
Yeah.
There
That's
have
it.
been cases in TS where I've seen a lot of fights have just been going around in circles, to the point where it's no longer even about admin skill, but more like other factors, like whether an admin is legit just feeling so tired to the point they just can't be asked to continue, or they've got other priorities to deal with, therefore they forfeit the match. But
then you have that one fight between Moran and Mewtwo that went on for a week and a half.
yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, I think we should get back to the topic now. Pokemon Verse, here to stay for
A good while.
within TS for a while. What's the next verse, Rod?
The next verse, this, in terms of member count, is one of the lowest, only at 1. But in terms of potential, it is up there. Marvel.
So we have Doctor Doom, who is a GC.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's Doctor Doom is someone who, at least for TS members, needs no introduction. Pretty much everybody knows how skilled.
Oh,
Oh God. Vod pulled me.
he's back.
He's back. He's back. That was probably a high godly regen right there. Okay, no worries. Continuing on. So yeah, I mean, we used to have Stephen Strange, or Doctor Strange, you could say, as well from Marvel, but we're not going to go into that with him. Yeah, as of now, currently we've got Doctor Doom for Marvel, and even people like Swamp Things and Death exist, but they're from DC. So like,
it's still comic books. Maybe we should
maybe we should class them as comic book characters just
so we have more to talk about.
Yeah, more to talk about.
Yeah. So that'll bring us up to 3 different members then.
Yes, three different members. So yeah, I'd actually love to see more comic book characters in TS.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but at the start, did we have Peter Parker?
No, we didn't. But I know that Mewtwo's admin.
That's what I'm thinking.
Can pull like one of the best Spider-Mans I've ever seen. Like literally, like you will not like. It's so hard to imagine that a person who plays a serious character like Mewtwo can also play Spider-Man. at the same time. But yeah, that just goes to show how
That
talented.
just
Admin
yeah, that
is.
just goes to show the sheer flexibility that
Yes.
Mewtwo has.
Exactly.
That's a
That
good
he's
review.
not just limited to Mewtwo and Mewtwo alone. He can really adapt to almost any character. Like he can also take Shadow. I know he tells me that he loves the James Bond, and sometimes just would. I think that if people made him a James Bond OC, I think. What, have you made a James Bond OC?
I
Hey.
have. I've made a James Bond Fate Servant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think he even said he would love to use one of that and role play at some point as well. So we could see that as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, getting back to topic with Doctor Doom. Oh my God. Okay, first of all, God Emperor Doom just takes things to such a huge level, and I think with Doom's character is like you have to appreciate the fact that despite being a human, he's taken down cosmic entities like eternity, infinity, even freaking
The
the
dude's
Beyonder.
powerful.
He's basically like, I'm a man with a plan, and there's no god that can stop me being a god. Okay, ignore
Yeah.
that. I will delete that part. I never said that. Okay. Basically, Doctor Doom is um, seriously hacks because of things like his ovoid mind transfer, where he just literally just transfers his soul onto you, and you also onto his. But then here's what happens: because his armor has the will of Doctor Doom, it will then corrupt your soul to that of Doctor Doom's, and then he just switches it right back. And then after that switch is done, all right, you are now subservient to Doctor Doom because your soul has basically been transformed to think like Doctor Doom. So he can literally just be like, with a snap of his fingers, do a soul transfer, and then like when he transfers back again, it's just like, I'm Doom, you're Doom. No opponent exists. Therefore, through SVA, victory condition immediately reached. If you don't think that's crazy enough, then he's got other stuff like he's got like gadgets, which like basically I'll literally have to pull out his versus wiki for details, but like I know he's got stuff that basically brainwash you straight up to thinking he is your god emperor. And he's also got things like Omniarch, which is just one of the craziest hacks. The power
And also,
anything
since
in
we actually
existence.
brought up, since we're actually
Yeah,
bringing up Omniarch, let's actually take a little moment to address like any concerns, because I remember coming to you about it because of a match I was in, private one at least, because omnipotence is mentioned within Omniarch. So do you mind clearing up the confusion about it?
yeah, sure. I'm gonna have to pull it up real quick. I mean, the thing with Omniarch that always kind of gets me is that it says the user rules over anything and everything in existence. So what about non-existence? Would they rule over that as well? That is something that I always, feel is kind of the only limit I guess you could have for Omniarch. And
What about this is more theoretical, but what about beyond existence?
beyond existence, BDE. Well, to be honest, I feel like if the character has BDE themselves, then they should be able to influence things that are beyond existence as well. But if the character doesn't, then their Omniarch is kind of limited to whatever dimensional hierarchy they can control. I mean, given Doctor Doom is basically like a 1A character, I'm pretty sure, and plus, I think if he absorbs the Beyonder's powers, he could potentially have that, which is really super hacks, and that's why it's like Yeah, Marvel is not like Marvel. I always used to think would be weaker than DC, but after the the Versus Wiki did kind of nerf down Marvel characters for a while. I remember when Doctor Doom just went from Outerverse level back down to Hyperverse. Now he's back at Outerverse again, and I'm like, good God. Yeah. Marvel is pretty much like Doctor Doom alone can really handle a lot of the other verses and their admins. And being a Grand Order member himself within TS, Grand Order being like pretty much the top 5 role players in TS for those who don't know. He's extremely hacked, and I feel like he just carries Marvel on his own. But I would like to see more people do like role play as comic book characters. Would just be a good thing. Hope Doom inspires other people, but at the moment it's just pretty much him from Marvel. And then you have Swamp Things. I mean, Shisui is learning it, and I think Death's character switched to Elaine Pollock. I think that was her new character. I actually don't know anything about that character, so I can't say anything, unfortunately. But I think that's also another high tier character. So we are getting more really higher tiered comic book characters. It's just that the amount of admins needs to increase for the comic book verse to actually, I guess, dominate TS and have like a proper fan base. So yeah, moving on.
Woo! SMT is next.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, with SMT, we have to address the big bad elephant in the room, Lord Shiva.
Yes. Oh, okay. I mean, he's like my teacher, if that counts as anything. But literally, he's amazing. He's super knowledgeable on the verse, and he's I feel like if Chun ever wanted to truly master the SMT side of her character, then she would definitely need to go to Shiva, because that guy is an encyclopedia of knowledge. But the thing is, he's not that competitive. So, and I feel like out of all the Grand Order members, it's because of that he's kind of. I mean, no Grand Order member is really slept on, but I feel like he's slept on the most out of the 5. No, seriously, I think Versus Wiki kind of did him wrong, only including a generalized version of demon physiology, which is why he had to go as far as making his own profile. But I think he's done a great work with it, and actually, has a huge list of techniques, such as like Sekunda and Megaidon, which are all like inverse SMT stuff. I'm not going to go into depths of, but yeah, it's super hacks. It's like he's got things ranging from quantum manipulation to even transduality, and it's like you don't want to mess with those abilities. I just feel like I just really wish more people took on board SMT. I know SMT was popular in TS for a bit because Vod himself was Steven, and even Ali was this Naomi character. But then she lost to Rimuru so bad that she ended up changing and then asking me for training for BB, which we will see soon enough in the HS. But yeah, SMT is basically the same as Marvel. Super hacks, but I feel like we need more admins in TS for it to actually become a dominating verse.
A powerhouse.
Yeah.
Mainly because Lord Shiva is fairly passive. He's more of a you get a 1 pass free. After that, nothing.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes how much a verse dominates a community kind of depends on how much it's talked about as well. And when that's why the more admins there are representing a verse, the more people are gonna actually take interest into it and talk about it, want to role play it and learn about it. So I do my best to talk about any verse that I come across as much as I can, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect. Even I am slightly biased towards some verses and have my own favorites than others. So even if I may know about SMT, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'll go on and on about it to the extent that Lord Shiva can. So yeah, it would just be good to see more people role playing as if in these verses, and let's hope we get that in the future.
Okay.
Now, here we move on to
Probably the biggest.
the biggest, and currently the most dominant verse in all of Team Shadow, Fate.
I'll get the popcorn. We're going to be here a while.
Oh God. Fate. I'm gonna have to talk about Fate in Discord, guys, before I die.
Fingers crossed.
Just know I left the last slice of my pizza for you all. Okay. No, so Fate, right. Fate is an amazing verse with really epic characters, great bios as well, because they're all based off of mythological things. Well, most of them, right? Some of them are just straight up cooked, like BB. Tell me where BB was a thing. All right. No, it's just an AI who's taken over Moon Cell, and I'm not gonna go into the depths behind that. But yeah, Fate. It is a great verse with great characters and amazing hexes. Like stuff like just some of the class skills always just makes me go, wow. I'm not even gonna tap into noble phantasms yet. Like stuff like bravery, where it's just like, it gives even a melee character like Achilles a chance against like mind hackers, or reality warpers and stuff like that, because the bravery skill not only boosts your melee combat, but it also prevents any sort of mental interference. The user is never subject to confusion and whatnot. And I feel like you really kind of need that when you're RP fighting as characters like Achilles, which are basically physical combat based mostly. So it's a great help. And then, yeah, that's just like literally 1% of that. Not only is it class skills, it's like personal skills as well. Stuff like I think Skahat's Wisdom of the Haunted Grounds, which allows her to basically take any skill that is common across servants and then use it at A rank levels, which is crazy because there are a lot of skills that overlap, and she can basically, like, especially class skills, which are common between heroes. She can basically go, okay, I have all the rider skill classes. I have all the archer class skills, and it's crazy to think about. Not only that, but like stuff like authorities. If you want to go, I'll let you do this because I know you're very much knowledgeable on Fate yourself. So
I'm just gonna hang back.
Yeah.
So, actually, going back to skills before we get into authorities, because that's a whole subject matter of its own. Something like magic resistance at no modern magic which in TS means from literally any modern magician from any verse is able to touch that servant.
Yeah. Just the sheer amount of hacks that you have just from servant physiology itself really makes it Fate like a super contender, because invulnerabilities, you have immunity to modern weapons, and I mean the only weakness they really have is mystery. So like, for example, a character won't be able to magic their way out of against a fake character, but what they can do is basically, here's a stick. This is a 10,000-year-old stick. Let me beat you up with it. and that's basically how it goes. It's like mystery is more of a factor against fake characters than even magic. Because let's be honest, like almost all classes have magic resistance pretty much. So like you
Almost all. It's the Lancer class, the Rider class, and the Saber class that have magic
yeah
resistance.
yeah. So I mean that alone gives them such an advantage. And obviously, casters can just cast magic themselves. And
And of
so
course, the way they do it is extremely hacked already.
yeah,
Like, take a caster who doesn't use magic, but more like Nikola Tesla.
oh
Like,
god,
yeah, they can't use magic, but what they can do is incredibly
oh my
powerful.
gosh. I'm not even gonna tap into Pioneer of the Stars. Like, oh my god. I swear that was brought in to give modern um servants like Tesla a chance against uh other really older servants, because Pioneer of the Stars, it's basically like I changed the world in my legend. Therefore, I can change anything about myself so long as I believe in it through the power of Deus Ex Machina, basically.
It's basically EX rank luck as a skill.
Yeah, basically. But yeah. I mean, to be honest, there's this one thing that sometimes like doesn't end up being utilized against fake characters, is the fact that to activate a noble fan, like I'm ignoring all active noble phantasms for a second here, ones that are like constantly on. But seriously, for any noble phantasm to activate, I'm pretty sure in Fate they have to enchant the name of the noble phantasm. So often I remember in some fights where it's like just before I can even say Achilles Cosmos or something, like someone would just try to like break my voice pipe or something like that, just so I can't say the name of the noble phantasm. And I feel like that's a tactic that a lot of people tend to overlook or forget, is that until like they say the or chant the whatever incantations needed for the NP, then they can't really activate it, except for constantly active ones. There's also some skills that kind of allows you to avoid that sort of thing. Stuff like high speed incantation, which I think Solomon has. So like he legit could just pull out any noble phantasm, like just by saying the name, he doesn't need to chant it. But often in Fate, you have like huge lines before the noble phantasm is said, and only then it is activated. So yeah, I feel like that's something that's not really utilized against fake characters very much in TS, but it should be. Overall, though, like seriously, Fate like is still a dominating verse just because of characters like Gilgamesh. Like
I
I don't,
don't like that. That'd be
Well,
the
not even
one.
just because of Gilgamesh. I mean,
yeah, and the
we have
Grand as well.
Gilgamesh, we have
Yeah,
Marlin.
yeah,
we have
yeah.
Grand Lander, we have
Space Ishtar as well. Yeah.
yeah, true. We have Spacious Star.
Mm.
Like I don't know much about Fate, so I just got to hung back for that conversation. But like I do know like the characters are really powerful. I do know that from what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
And the
I mean,
admins,
literally depending on the servant, tier doesn't even matter anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we have some great
Skahak is literally a living proof of that. Like I'm still waiting for the day that she gets a profile update, because I seriously don't feel someone who's got, the potential to use freaking Odin's primordial runes should be stuck at 6C levels. I really don't feel like that should be the case, especially because I know Skahak is in Grand Order itself. So I'm still waiting for the time they actually to like give her profile an update. But yeah, let's just hope. But yeah, fate really takes tearing out of the question. It really does.
Yeah, so as you brought up earlier, authorities. Authorities alone are a game changer when it comes to fate.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really no denying that.
Yeah, I'd put them on level, like almost on level, but not in terms of like potency, because I've just read from the Versus Wiki now that Truths and Umaneko are out of soul level, which is just crazy. But in terms of mechanics, what they do, authorities themselves are in a way a truth. They're like, this god believes this must happen, therefore it will happen. It's the same as like someone from the Umaneko verse, which we're going to talk about later eventually.
Yeah, authority works simply by making things happen because one has that right.
Yeah. So it's
Whereas codecast skills in Noble Phantasms accomplish a certain task by following a corresponding principle.
Mm.
So it's basically like I'm going to make Rome a thing because I have the ability to.
yeah. It's basically like authorities are almost kind of like a no limits fallacy. You could almost think of it like that. Whereas like noble phantasms will have restrictions and drawbacks, such as like for example, take Achilles Cosmos. Yeah, it's a great no NP, but Achilles can only use it once. So once he uses that shield is gone. Boom. Um, and stuff like some noble phantasms have weaknesses. Whereas, for example, let's just give Achilles a hypothetical authority. He can just be like, I can set up the bounded field against anyone I want because I want to. I can set it up against a woman because I want to. Achilles can be like, nah, I'm gonna ignore the weakness that I have that anyone with divinity can harm me just because I have the authority to, and he can just be like, no, removing that as a weakness, and boom.
Though authority only has one major weakness. It's limited to a certain domain for a god.
Yeah.
So depending on the type of god you are, you're going to have complete and utter control over that. So if you have an authority over love, well, that's probably going to, show in like a super form of empathic manipulation.
Yeah.
But let's say, I don't know, you're talking about the god of Rome. Well, since that's more of an embodiment than anything, then that pretty much grants you, the authority of every Roman deity.
Yeah.
Because it's a part of that civilization.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that's
just hugely hacks.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's limited to certain domains for a god, but in Grand Lancer's case, he really has no limits with authority.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like with authority, like if you had authority over, for example, rules itself, you could just rewrite the rule that authorities are domain based and just transcend that. It's like, though I do know that some servants, they suffer from severe backlash if they use authorities. Like they like if you're a servant, if you're summoned in as a servant, then using authorities really hurts you. Because I know I've seen from Saber's, not Saber, by the way, Saber's profile, that whenever he uses authority outside of like stuff like Mooncell and as a servant, it will seriously backlash at him. I don't think it's consistent throughout all servants, but I know.
That's just for some specific ones, like basically, there is a backlash, yes, but essentially, there's a reason for that. It's because they're using an authority past the age of gods. Now, in order to bypass that, you're going to have to be a high level deity. So, if you're Amaterasu level, you are powerful enough that the time axis has literally no bearing on you.
Mm.
So, basically, you're transcending time.
Yeah.
And
Which
that's the one thing you need in order to utilize authority and abuse it.
yeah, that's also another good point. It's just like how fake characters just completely really mess with time in any way they want because they just don't follow a normal time axis. I mean, the mere fact that so many different servants from different points of time can be summoned in for Holy Grail War should in itself cause a huge paradox, just with them interacting with each other. But nope, they're completely ignorant of that sort of thing, and they suffer no backlashes whatsoever. But yeah, that's just mere interaction. To use authorities, though, as Vod explained, you'd need to be pretty high level god to not suffer from backlashes.
And that's where and that's actually what we're seeing more often now is these high level fate servants that have the ability to use authority are being introduced, like Arjuna Alter, I think was the first big one since Amaterasu.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Because I think with him, I was just surprised how many authorities he had, and the fact that like he just completely absorbed all these people and like suffered no backlashes or whatsoever, despite Arjuna himself actually literally just being a demigod. Like he was the son of a god and a human being. He's not even fully god, but then his altered version self just makes him someone with divinity that is of EX. I have no idea how that happened. I have no idea how someone who's not even like a true god ends up absorbing freaking Shiva of all people. But yeah, it happened. Apparently, he has all authorities. Apparently, he can summon any servants, even those who are have a contract with masters. They just literally went, hey, how about we give this guy every single crazy fate power at once? And I'm like, bruh. And then the fact that he wasn't even a freaking grand for all the stuff that he had just baffles me because sometimes I feel like Arjuna is as like Arjun Autumn, I should say, is as hacks, if not more hacks than some grands I know. I've compared his profile to say Grand Assassin, and I'm like, how is he a grand and then freaking Auto is? It really doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is, I guess.
It is what it is.
It is what.
It is. So I think the fate.
Yeah, so sorry to interrupt you, yo. So
Yeah.
honestly I think authorities are a lot like red truths.
Yeah.
And I said the description for it earlier, but do you mind if I give it again?
Sure.
All right. So here's why I think authorities are a lot like red truth. The red truth is an undeniable fact that must be followed, even without any evidence or proof to support it. However, there are multiple interpretations of the red truth. Attempting to speak false or contradictory information via the red truth causes the user to choke up.
Yeah, and that would in with the backlash that some servants can face whilst using it. So yeah, red truth is basically like this is the absolute truth, and red truth can only ever be a fact. I guess I'll cover that when we talk about human echo in more detail. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and Umineko is basically the next verse anyway, so I guess we can just kind of do a little bit of a comparison.
Yeah, I say that'll be good.
All right. So yeah, I mean, Blue Truth, from what I know, from having watched Rumeneko for so long, and yes, it is longer than the Bible, people.
How long is it? Because I haven't.
It is okay. Like take the entire Harry Potter series, add the Bible to it. Rumeneko is still longer.
Is it like multiple series, or is it like what?
Yeah,
Like
it's okay. So basically, Umineko has what I call 8 episodes, but calling them episodes really isn't accurate because they're more like seasons. And within each season, you've got like around 20-ish episodes, all of them being like, like minimum 45 minutes long. And the maximum that I've come across was like a friggin' 4-hour long episode. So
what?
if you want to watch Umineko, it is really good because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the plot was so good that I'd still end up watching a 4-hour long video. That's how good it was. But the thing is, you have to be committed, because
That long? What do
yeah,
you?
it is not what your like 20 like 1 season long 20 episode kind of anime which you can just binge watch in one night. It is literally you are not going for a sprint, you are going for a marathon race, and you have to keep running.
Watching like one more episode. Clicks like episode 4 hours long. Oh shit!
Yeah.
I've already committed.
Exactly. No, that's how I feel with Umineko right now. Is that currently where I'm at? I'm on season 7, and so I've still got season 8, and then I'm finished. But I'm so far in that it's like I pretty much know what's gonna happen now. Now that they've finally put the pieces together in the mystery, which I'm not gonna spoil. But it's like I'm so far in, and I can't go back out either because I must at least confirm what I have as a theory on what happened with the actual big reveal. So, so I'm kind of just stuck there. But yeah, I can see why like literally the Versus Wiki finally got it so right
It
because
took them so long to watch it all.
even though it's based on a mystery novel, I mean combat wise, it just the truth themselves are scary because literally like people like Battler, he's got this ability called Endless Nine, and basically, I tend to think of it as almost the German word for no, which is nine. Okay, I like to think of it because he can just know you almost anything. Like, oh, a servant pulls up with authorities, and he would just be like, no, supernatural defiance to that one. Denied, denied, denied. You are denied. It's just
Wait, hold on. I'm curious. Is it possible if authorities could be used as blue truths to counter by making a theory?
um I don't think authorities can be used like they like with red truths. I guess you could do it. With blue truths, it's kind of it's like you have to suggest a theory, but it has to be based on like statements that really make sense. So
Yeah, it's a possibility to counter the logic
yeah, I guess
of
I
a
guess you
red
could
truth.
yeah, I guess you could try. And yeah, blue truths are the only things that can counter a red truth because basically, if you suggest a blue truth, right, and the person doesn't have any red truth to counter that blue truth, then immediately they get impaled by like this huge stake from heaven, which literally they cannot remove. And the only way to remove that stake that they're impaled with, which by the way is slowly going to deny their existence, or instantly, depending on how mad the person is. Like unless you counter it with a red truth, yeah, you're basically screwed. That stake is conceptually engraved into your core as spiritual core, you could basically say, and it will not be removed whatsoever. So, and the only thing that can overturn a red truth even is a golden truth. And oh my god, and
And you
then
need to, and the thing for that is you need to understand the game board for that, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, exactly. So basically, in Umineko, whenever a Umineko character starts a fight with you, they're basically going to set up a game. So the fight is the game. And within each game, they have literally endless possibilities that they can access. That's why they have things to have such as quantum manipulation. So literally, you could almost try anything, and they could just literally just take a beeline go into another route and counteract what your actions that you did from like frigging almost endless timelines and whatever possible. And or they can simply just stand, go, no, I don't think I will. And everything you did just did not count. That's how crazy overpowered it is. So Ange Ushiromiya, the one which I think Sahak is planning on changing, which once again could be a huge blow for the favors if they end up losing someone as important as her. Ange has got something. I think it's something like the Golden Eagle, which can overcome even the Golden Truth, and that is really scary to think about. And Umineko is just like, I know how hacks this verse is, and I'm just waiting. Literally, I'm waiting for people like Battler, Beatrice, and possibly Ange to showcase to TS just how hacked.
Umineko is probably on track to be one of the strongest voices in TS.
Yeah, I mean, I already knew this thing had potential when I first came across it. That's why I even started. Like, I'm not like, people might mistake me for like jumping in on the bandwagon at Umineko now that the profile's got updates. But no, I was committed to this verse from the moment I initially came across the profiles. Even half done.
We all saw you simping over the fact that it was updated this morning.
Yeah. Basically, because I was entranced by this verse from the moment I saw it, because I just knew it had so much potential. And especially when I started watching it, I was like, bro, the Versus Wiki profiles have not done it justice whatsoever. Like, because I know just how much potential this verse has, and now they've finally done it right. And I'm just waiting for TS to basically get a glimpse of just how much you can use it. And hopefully, you might even try to get into the Umineko verse, because that's the reason why I'm really happy that I decided to invest all this time in a verse, because I feel like it's one verse where you would be wise. You would definitely be wise, especially if you don't know about it, to at least study up on it. Whether you roleplay as a character or not, fair enough. But you would be wise to study up on this, because you do not want to be caught lacking with the amount of hacks the profiles have, and the talent that we've got with some of the admins as well.
Oh god, yeah, like
seriously, I'm like everyone from Umineko. Well, we've got 3, but like Scar's admin, Battler's admin, and Beatrice's admin, they are serious KT Cup level contenders as well.
Oh, Beatrice always was, even when she was Cynthia. Like, Beatrice has always been a great war player. And I'm not saying that because she used to be my team's captain back when I roleplayed. Like, no bias.
Yeah.
No bias.
See, the
honestly, when I'm looking at it all, but I think the Golden Truth is the hardest one to pull off.
Yeah.
Because to give its description, it's a mysterious truth that can only be used if one truly understands the nature of the game board. It is woven in such a way that it can either be weaker or stronger than the red truth. Ange, who you mentioned earlier, explains it as a truth constructed by a belief that is acknowledged by multiple people, which means it can even protect against the red truth. It can be used by any character who understands the game board. So yes, it's extremely its usage is common, but its complexity is high.
Exactly. And the thing is, anybody who is in a lower tier to the Umineko verse characters, so for example, fake characters who are usually around
2A.
2A, they will not even be able to comprehend what the game board is at the start. They will literally need to tier jump as a minimum to 1A levels to even grasp it. And the thing is, you cannot counter a golden truth unless you are a game master. And to be a game master, you actually need to understand the games and the rules, which, like, if an Umineko character is fair and nice to you, they would actually bother explaining before they come like jumping at you with blue truths and red truths. But as we saw with Battler versus Jean as B, if Battler doesn't explain the rules of the game, how do you even know how to respond? The fact that blue truths can only be countered with red truths, and if the game master doesn't even allow you to speak with red truths, or you don't know that you need to counter it with a red truth, then basically anything you try against it, anything, literally, even authorities, because the authorities are of a lower level compared to the truths, which are Alta Versa level plus. It's not even gonna phase them. It's like shooting an arrow with flames at like a gigantic fortress. Like that's it. It's just gonna bounce off. Yeah, you tried, but it doesn't matter. It's so complex that you would have to be at least like 1A literally at the start to even understand. Which is why this is why I feel like the uprising for Umineko is out there. And even people like KG and Enkidu would be wise to seriously study up on all the profile updates and everything, because I feel like Umineko is seriously could overtake TS. And we could even potentially see like champions in stuff like Mario Cups, KG Cups, even depending on how well the admins carry themselves. Because but the potential, the possibility is definitely there. I would still put this as a possibility. Verse can be given a rude awakening by the Umineko verse. I'll say that.
The Fate Force has been on top since in the beginning of TS.
The beginning of time.
This is the beginning of time. The Fate.
So in all reality,
Yeah,
even though we have all these really powerful verses, it's really coming down to Fate or Nasuverse versus Umineko.
yeah. Those are like the big dogs. It's like
if it gets
they are the daddy verses, and everybody else is trying to catch up.
I feel like we're going to get to the point where we should do Umineko versus Fate tournament. Like,
right. But the problem is there's actually so many Fate roleplayers compared to.
Eventually, when more people get into Umineko.
But still, no. You know what? I'd still call that an equal challenge, because I just feel like Ange, Beatrice, and Battler combined, like if those three went up against other like all the other Fate captains, I'd still call that like a level fight.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun to experience all that. I think it'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting matchup, but Umineko definitely.
To be honest, like with TS, one thing I really wanted to do was like verse battles, where it's like people from the same verse go up against other. But the problem is we simply don't have enough member capacity, and that too members that share a same fandom, that we can actually host that. Because like as we saw, there are some fandoms where it's like we know we've got super talented fighters like Dr. Doom and NS.
Well, it's just like
it's just them carry, and even Ragnar with Blaze Blue, which I don't think we ended up covering, but
no, we didn't.
But yeah, I'm just gonna class them in the same position as the Marvel. Yeah, they're great, but there's just not enough admins for TS.
Yeah.
Like Ragnar, he really tried with Kayla to get her to be Noelle. He even tried to get Justin to be Jin Kurosagi. But like, I just don't think they're into the Blaze Blue the same rate that Ragnar is in. To be honest, Merlin is actually knowledgeable in that verse. He also taught Ragnar quite a lot of what he knows. But of course, Merlin is loyal to Fate, and there are other external factors, like he doesn't want to change the character that he initially came to the SW.
I think I'm in the same boat with him. I haven't changed
because of nostalgia reasons.
Yeah, I actually feel the exact same as Marlon. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So Merlin knows there are like really like stronger Fate characters even, than even what he's got. But Merlin's skilled enough that he can still work with Merlin.
What? Kiddies are cutting out.
Going toe to toe with.
Hey,
Sorry.
you might repeat that sentence. You're cutting out a bit.
Am I?
Yeah, you're cutting out there.
Okay, let me try.
You're fine now. You sound fine now. So just repeat that sentence.
Yeah, okay. I was saying, can you imagine going up against like Mewtwo in the MC Cup for like a week straight with just Merlin?
Yeah. I remember I had to, you came to me saying, look, you might have to make an edit for both of them because they might both win this.
Yeah. To be honest, I felt like the fight was so even-sided that I feel like Merlin just came up to Mewtwo and was just like, look, bro, we really can't sort this out with abilities, so just let's just put in some PIS and just have you just beat me in hand combat, because like freaking I know Merlin is a master swordsman and stuff, but why would Merlin suddenly just ditch all his magic and just challenge Mewtwo in his Mega X form to a hand-to-hand duel? And then Mewtwo and even that ends up being so close that apparently it came down to Mewtwo's elasticity as Mega Mewtwo X. So that when Merlin delivered a decisive blow, it got absorbed, and then Mewtwo was just like, "Ha! I've got an opening," and boom, just
It was
hit.
it was the TS equivalent of Goku versus Frieza.
Yeah, pretty much.
Marlon, I'm gonna blow up the planet in 5 minutes, Mewtwo. The fight goes on
Yeah.
for 5 more days in real time.
Yeah, 5 more times. Merlin's just like, screw it. You know what? This is going nowhere. I'll let you have the win, but I'll probably just get you back next year or something like that.
I'll be back.
And Mewtwo's just like, "God, thank you."
Yeah, and
So-
meanwhile, we've had a lot of admins within Team Shadow just rising up the ranks.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's
Like
brings
even
me
if
more-
it's not even if it's not shown via net worth, like just the mere and honestly, I'm going to talk about this more after the podcast, but like there's a lot of potential 4 stars within the 3-star ranks.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean that just goes to show the rate at which TS is evolving. But see, the thing is, it's great news for within TS, but for anybody coming to TS, it's like they're probably not even used to writing like half a paragraph, and they come across like 20 out of 20s, and they just think like, what the hell did we sign ourselves up for? Because like the disparity between people who've grown up in TS and finally like reaching almost transcendence level when it comes to P, and the disparity between like literally people that just made it into TS somehow with a 7 is so huge that some people just get absolutely demotivated to even fight, because they're like, yeah, we're just gonna get our ass into ourselves if we challenge any of the big guns. So
that's why we have the vice captains and the captains and the teams there to help them out.
Mm.
And the overseers. I know
I-
Claw
I-
is helping
yeah.
out people right now.
yeah, true, but it's like I really wish I could like we had more people who are knowledgeable but not willing to fight. But the thing is, we've got loads of non-combatants, which is great. We've got loads of combatants, which is great. But the amount of people we have who are just just there to help people get better rather than focus on their own fighting is very less. Because pretty much everyone I know that is knowledgeable enough to help someone out is also still continuing on RP fighting themselves. So that kind of, I don't blame them, because hey, if you've got that knowledge, you'd want to utilize it yourself. Same time, fair enough. But I just feel like because of that, they get distracted between focusing on their own game and focusing on someone else's. And that is why at the moment when it comes to the teaching stuff in TS, we've literally only got Shadow and Enkidu. But Enkidu herself is still technically speaking a fighter and a coach of her own team. Shadow is just aerospace. He's busy as frick. So
Yeah.
I'd love to have like more people in TS who are knowledgeable, but also have a lot of spare time to help out those that actually need it.
Yeah, I get you. I say we'll get something like that eventually. Yeah.
Are we done talking about the verses then?
I think that's a good place to end off. So thank you guys for watching the podcast, as usual.
Yay, thank you guys.
It was an interesting one, and I believe this is the longest episode we've done yet. Like, this is over an hour.
Woo!
Woo! We did it.
Woo!
Be sure to like and subscribe if you like my green hair.
And we all know everyone likes his green hair.
It's a nice substitute.
It's so green.
Okay. You know what?
It really is.
Like and subscribe, and hit that notifications bell if you like pizza. Boom. See,
But everyone likes pizza.
Oh, he really went there.
I went there.
But
Anyways,
everyone likes pizza.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Right.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We'll try to get the next episode out as soon as possible, and again, we're still working on other videos behind the scenes. But we have TS League. Link down below to that. Subscribe.
Check it out.
Gaming.
Do it.
Do it, or Achilles will steal your pizza.
I will steal your pizza, even if it's the last slice. Come at me, bro.
He will. He'll pull a whole Santa to sneak on your chimney, steal your pizza, even if it's right in front of you.
I remember I had a slice of pizza, and Tom.
I may have D-rank luck, but not when it comes to.
I was eating a pizza once, and I went to the bathroom. When I came back, it said, "Thanks for the pizza, Achilles." Just a little note saying that. Achilles lives across the ocean from me. How did he
I'm the Grinch of pizzas. Let's put it that way.
Yo, the Achilles outsold pizza.
And what do you know? The Grinch is green. Yeah. Boom. Coincidence? I don't think so.
On that note, thanks for watching, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.